We're about even on the advanced decline line, so let's call it a split open. We stalled at 2,800 on the S&P, so you want to watch the leadership groups for signs of faltering or breakouts. Let's take a look at the leadership groups. What led in 2019? Semiconductors, number one, kind of stalled out. Banks, up 20%, kind of stalled out. Industrials, flattish. Energy, flattish. The Russell 2000, it basically stalled out 6 or 7 days ago. It's below its 200-day moving average. So the leadership group, and there they all are, basically stalled out 5, 6, 7 days ago. That's the problem. We can't get the market really moving forward because we've got a lot of issues. I think the real action is in China. You see these big political meeting going on in China right now, and we've got some moves up. The Shenzhen, this is the best performing stock market in the world right now. The Shanghai, it's up 23, 24% on the year, up again. Shenzhen was up, Hang Seng up fractionally. But very interesting what's coming out of the big political meeting. They're talking about slower growth and a lot more stimulus over there. So the GDP is now 6 to 6.5%. It was 6.6% in 2018. They're talking about a lot more tax cuts again, and even more infrastructure spending. Again, this does not sound like a government that's confident that ending the trade war was going to solve their problems here. The global economic slowdown is very real. You see it in Europe and you see it in China, and it's not all solved if we just get a trade deal. People have to understand the differences here. So here's the problem for the markets right now. We're up, 16 or 17% since the bottom on December 24th. We've already assumed a positive outcome that the Fed's going to be friendly with us and the trade talks are going to work out. But the global growth is a big wild card, independent of the trade talks. The dollar strength is also somewhat of an issue, although I would say a little bit less overall. So just bear that in mind. We haven't figured this whole thing out yet. There are some serious headwinds facing the markets. As for the rest of the market, we're finally getting the rest of the retailers in. Target had terrific guidance for 2019. Even Kohl's, that was the biggest surprise. Kohl's guidance was excellent. L Brands, there's a lot of talk. Barrington wants them to separate Victoria's Secret from Bath and Body Works, not a surprise there. But take a look who the winners and losers are. We've got most of the earnings in on retailer, and it's very obvious who's winning and who's losing. The discounters, the Walmart, the TJXs, the Ross stores, the Target guys, the dollar stores, they're the winners. Also winners, Home Depot and Lowe's, the home improvement guys. And there are some outliers out there. Costco, and surprisingly, some people were surprised. I am. Best Buy looks like they're doing fine. They're going to do all right. Elsewhere, what else do you got? Well, you got the apparel guys aren't doing that great, and the department stores generally are not. Kohl's was a surprise today, but remember, Kohl's has a great dividend, and there's some of these retail guys that pay a lot in a way of dividend and are attracting dividend buyers. Macy's, L Brands, Coty, Kohl's, look, they're all 4 to 6%. So that is a factor overall. The other factor are buybacks, and we have been mentioning with all this political talk around the buybacks, who's going on here. GameStop is one of those several dozen in the S&P 500 I call buyback monsters. These are companies that have bought back, that have reduced their shares outstanding more than 25% since 2010. And GameStop is in that group here. They have reduced their shares outstanding by 38%. And why am I bringing it up? Because they're doing even another one, an even bigger one that's out there, and that may reduce their shares by an additional 20 or 25%. Huge buyback announced by them. Finally, another one. Delta also announced a fairly large buyback. Delta's reduced its shares by about 20% since outstanding by about 20%. Since then. So this buyback story, it's as big in 2019 as it was in 2018. We may have a record in 2019 if this keeps going. We're at the lows for the day, Carl, down about 60 points.